Welcome to your Daily Writing Habit, episode number 695. If you're writing a book or thinking about it, or maybe you've started writing your book but you need some help getting it done, you are in the right place. Good morning, everyone. Happy Writer Wednesday. I'm your host, Christine Whitmarsh. If you're looking for me online, look for Christine Inc., like that stuff we write with. Each day, I'm sharing with you the writing habits I've learned over my 19 years as a ghostwriter, book coach, and author. I have found that three things in particular have a huge impact on your success as an author, and they can turn someone who barely considers themselves to be a writer into a published book author. Those three things are writing fundamentals, productivity, and mindset habits. And once again, good morning, everyone. Happy Writer Wednesday. And what we do here on the show on Writer Wednesday is I grab a quote, some sort of quote that's pertinent to writing or being an author, all that other good stuff, and then I find a way to apply it to your writing in the most actionable way possible. So without further ado, here is this week's quote. If Moses were alive today, he'd come down from the mountain with the 10 Commandments and spend the next 5 years trying to get them published. That's from an anonymous source, but it's a very clever quote, and I think you can take it in a couple different ways, and here's how I took it. And this is the reason I love it, because it speaks to one of my favorite soapbox topics, as I call them, waiting for permission to be published. I especially preach this to my fellow entrepreneurs who already have brands and businesses and customers and some sort of success. Yet suddenly, when they decide to become authors, perhaps because of uncertainty with the terrain, they revert to old school thinking that the only way of accomplishing that is to find a publisher. And to be clear, there are a handful of circumstances and genres of books where I would encourage an author to at least explore the path of becoming traditionally published. For instance, genres like young adult or formats like fiction trilogies, or authors who simply don't have maybe like an entrepreneurial bone in their entire body, and they're not interested in becoming their own publisher and kind of becoming their own business, which really what it is. No matter how you publish, you really are in the business of being an author and being your author brand with all your books. For everyone else, though, especially nonfiction authors, I strongly recommend keeping your book rights, your proceeds, and really control over your book and hopefully books, future tense, and going the independent/self-publishing route. And as today's quote also alludes to, when you opt for traditional publishing, you're pretty much at the mercy of the publisher's timeline. That's why Moses, in that scenario is running down the mountain with the 10 Commandments and trying to get them published for 5 years. Imagine how everything would have changed as a result of that in the Bible. So I personally don't know very many entrepreneurs who like to be at the mercy of anything, let alone a timeline for publishing their own books, their own stories and ideas and messages that can be out there actively helping people. I don't know a lot of entrepreneurs that are just like, yeah, sure, that's, 10 years from now, that's cool. I mean, obviously that's an extreme example, but you get my point. Control is a huge issue. So therefore, recapping today's quote, if Moses were alive today, he'd come down from the mountain with the 10 Commandments and spend the next 5 years trying to get them published. I hope this helps you out, especially those of you that I know a lot of you are on the fence between traditional publishing and self-publishing, and again, certainly benefits on both sides, but so much of it, there's no benefits that I have found that just are across the board benefits, pros and cons for everyone. It really depends on the individual author, the type of book, their plan for the book, and really just what else is going on in their life and their world professionally and personally. So a lot of factors that play into that. So to that end, please feel free to drop by my Inc. Authors group on Facebook and chime in with your thoughts and questions. This will be a really great conversation for Inc. authors. That's why I always post the link in the show notes. Thank you for joining me here on your Daily Writing Habit, where I am helping you write and finish writing an awesome book. Until tomorrow, happy writing.